Okay.
So we are having this very special interaction today in Colombo, Sri Lanka, from the sidelines of this mega project with Adani Group is actually developing here, the west terminal of the Colombo port. There's a very landmark funding deal from the US infrastructure financing body which has happened, and I have with me Karan Adani to talk more about this particular deal and also the roadmap Adani Ports and Logistics as a company is taking going forward. Karan, thank you very much for your time talking to us on ET Now and for inviting us and showcasing this wonderful asset of yours. First of all, there are a lot of admirers of your company, Adani Ports and Logistics, the unique company it has been built over the years. But it was predominantly an India-focused company so far. Now we are seeing gradual moves. So in that light, what's the significance of this particular project?
Okay, so no, you're right. We are predominantly an India-focused company with infrastructure in India. We entered Colombo 2 years back, and with the partnership of with John Keels and Sri Lankan Port Authority. We were always looking for a footprint in this part of the country, because today almost 50% of India's container movement gets transshipped out of Colombo, and so we thought it was extremely important that for a company like us to have a presence over here in order to give a more surety on the supply chain for the Indian importer-exporter, and also to give the same level of visibility, transparency, as well as the same operational predictability as what we give in India. And the idea is that how do we help them to reduce that cost of overall logistics cost for them to do, for any importer or an exporter.
We were also discussing earlier in the day that this is a step in the logistics space here, but you eventually also have an eye on probably doing something around the power space, renewables over here. What are the possibilities?
So, as we have done with Bangladesh, we have set up a power plant in India, in Jharkhand, and then we are supplying electricity through transmission line in Bangladesh. We do see that there is a great opportunity to have wind farms set up in northern part of Sri Lanka, and then to set up a transmission line into India and export that power from Sri Lanka into India, renewable power, and that's what we are looking at. I think it's a great opportunity because the renewable PLFs that we get over here, especially in the northern part on the onshore, is same as an offshore wind farm. So we do see there is a lot of possibility, and the idea is that how do we start working towards integration of both the economies so that it helps. Interdependency always helps. End of the day, it helps in terms of the overall economics and the growing. Making sure that your neighbors also grow along with you. So to bring that overall stability, it's always good that we work with our neighbors and we try to integrate as much as possible.
Karan, I was just going through your annual report of the Adani Ports. It's outstandingly written, I must say. The amount of detailed research. It talks about two things I want to talk about. One is Vision 2025, which is talked about, which is more near-term and medium-term vision. And then you talk about 2030.
Sure.
So it has more strategic initiative which you aim to take out there. If you could just throw some light on that.
So 2025, two large immediate objectives that we are achieving. By 2025, we would be hitting 500 million tons of handling as APSEZ. And second, we would be carbon neutral company by 2025. By 2030, what we are targeting to do is to be largest port company globally, and also from an India perspective to be the largest transport utility. What does it mean by transport utility? We are sort of transforming the company. We are not just going to be a port company, but more of a solution company to our customers, and give them a solution for their logistics need all the way to their factory gate, and hence develop whatever infrastructure we need to do in the hinterland part of the country, whether it's rail, whether it's ICDs, warehousing, trucking solution, rail solution. So that's what we would be going towards, and so it's going to be more of a solution-based approach, with infrastructure, with infrastructure embedded into it, and also technology embedded into it.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand clearly. It talks a lot about how you're going to integrate customers, what they want, engage with them closely, and become more solution oriented than just a port company.
Exactly.
So, talk to me about how you're using the ports as a very key strategic logistic play, because up till now logistic only meant road.
Yes.
But what I see is, when I see the map of India and how you're operating or expanding, it appears that there's a pearl kind of a strategy at play. Can you talk more about it?
So if you see from India perspective, when you rank them, the coastal is the cheapest mode of transport, whether it's coastal shipping or inland waterways, followed by rail and then followed by road. Unfortunately, for a country of our size, still 80% of cargo moves by road, and that's why our cost of logistics is so high. And in order to bring our cost of logistics down, we have to shift as much as possible to rail, as well as to inland waterway and coastal. And obviously, port is an entry and exit for any for any importer or an exporter, and that is what we were looking at. That when you look at the whole value chain, port is a very small component, but that component gives us the visibility of the whole whole value chain. And what we have noticed is, because there are multiple players delivering all the way up to the plant, there is a lot of inefficiency in the system. And the idea is that using that information, how do we break down and how do we give a seamless solution so that we reduce the inefficiencies in the system?
I also observed that you're also kind of adopting all the best practices of New Age India, higher contribution of representation from women workers, much more technology imprint and automation. Can you talk more about that?
So, end of the day, ports, we collect a lot of data. What do we do with that data? And right now, nothing. But the idea is that how do we bring in more how do we start using that data? How do we start using that data to make better decisions in terms of operations, in terms of customer engagement? So a lot of work is getting done over there. And as I said, we want to create the technology layer, which from an importer or an exporter, or as a customer, you get a full visibility, live visibility of where exactly your product is. You don't need to call the port, you don't need to call any of our team members, but the idea is that how do you get full visibility, transparency into the system, and that is what we are working towards. And I think from our objective, strategic objective, we want to go greener, we want to be more efficient, and obviously we want to have more diversity into our workforce. So these are the three large objectives that we.
One last question from the stock market perspective, because your stock over the period has created a lot of value for long-term investors, and I saw very high degree of focus in your annual report about efficiencies. The word efficiency was repeated. There was very clear focus on ROS and asset light. So what's the transformation on the business model that you're adopting?
So as you would have seen, we have given a 5-year roadmap. We want to be, we at the end of 5 years, we want our ROCE to be in the range of anything between 19 to 22%, which we are at 12% right now. The reason why we have given that is because the last 10 years we've used the last 10 years to develop and to create infrastructure. We believe that now is the time to really optimize, sweat the assets, and to squeeze and to get more efficiency, more operations out of it, and that's why we believe there is going to be a hockey stick in terms of a ROCE perspective. And efficiency is important, because end of the day, if you're not efficient, we won't be able to help our customers derive better value and be more competitive in the global market. So that's why that's why there is a huge amount of focus in terms of efficiency of product, whether it's operations, whether it's turnaround time, whether it is business mix, or whether it is even cargo loss. So what we have looked at is how do we help our customers reduce their cost of logistics, and then hence by doing that they will be more competitive. in the global market, if they are more competitive in global market, indirectly we get benefited because there will be more volume for us.
Outstanding. Thank you so much for your time and inviting
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
पोर्ट्स का पहले मैं जरा पॉइंट्स आपके सामने रख दूं, वो ये कह रहे हैं कि हम 2030 तक सबसे बड़े पोर्ट हो जाएंगे, है ना। ये तो एक्सपेंशन भी करना चाहते हैं। और आपने ध्यान भी होगा जब हिडलबर्ग की रिपोर्ट आई थी उसके बाद कोई शेयर सबसे पहले ऊपर आया उस रिपोर्ट्स के नेगेटिविटी से, वो यही शेयर था। जब ये शेयर नीचे जा रहे थे तो सबसे कम गिरने वाले शेयर्स में से ये था। और जब ये शेयर नीचे भी था ना, तब भी काफ़ी सारे लोगों का यही मानना था कि पोर्ट जो टेंजिबल एसेट्स हैं उसको आप बिल्कुल भी इग्नोर ना कीजिए। तो आपकी राय क्या? अडानी पोर्ट्स अभी भी 850 के रेट पे जो फ्रेश इन्वेस्टर है वो प्लस कर लेना, कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं है? रोड मैप तो बहुत क्लियर है।
हाँ जी, एक्चुअली अगर आप पूरा अदानी ग्रुप में देखें तो बैलेंस शीट वाइज अदानी पोर्ट्स काफ़ी मतलब स्ट्रॉन्ग है कंपेयर टू द रेस्ट। आई मीन अक्रॉस, जैसे अगर आप इन्वेस्टमेंट्स की देखें उनके जो है उनका जो मार्केट शेयर इन द ओवरऑल पोर्ट सेक्टर में है, लॉजिस्टिक सेक्टर में है, तो वो काफ़ी अच्छा है। और अभी जो लेटेस्ट आई थिंक न्यूज़ बेस में उनका काफ़ी अच्छा चल रहा है। जैसे लास्ट ये पोर्ट जो श्रीलंका में है उसमें जॉइंट इन्वेस्टमेंट विद अमेरिकन इन्वेस्टमेंट आ रहा है। तो आई थिंक टू एन एक्सटेंट वैल्यूएशन वाइज तो ये एक्सपेंसिव है ही। आई मीन इट इज़ एक्सपेंसिव एट 817, बट अगर आप अदानी स्टॉक्स में और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं देन ये एक ऑप्शन रहता है आपके लिए।
ठीक है, एक काम और करते हैं, जरा अडानी ग्रुप के अडानी पोर्ट्स का एक टेक्निकल व्यू भी ले लेते हैं। कुणाल, जरा आप चेक करेंगे अडानी पोर्ट टेक्निकल व्यू देंगे आप?
वेल डिम्पी जी, अडानी पोर्ट की बात करें इस लेवल पे जिस हिसाब से अभी स्टॉक ट्रेड कर रहा है, जो व्यू बन रहा है बाय करके ही चलने का बन रहा है। जो ट्रेडिंग रेंज है वो ट्रेडिंग रेंज का ब्रेकआउट आज के दिन में हमें देखने को मिला है। एंड हाली चार्ट पे जो लोअर टॉप लोअर बॉटम फॉर्मेशन में स्टॉक ब्रेक कर चल रहा था, उस फॉर्मेशन का भी ब्रेकआउट है। व्यू पॉजिटिव साइड का है। 817 के अराउंड डीपीजी स्टॉक हमें नजर आ रहा है अभी ट्रेड करते हुए। बाय करके चलने की सलाह है रिसेंट लेवल से ही। एसएल की बात कर लेते हैं तो उसका जो रिसेंट का जो बॉटम है डीपीजी 796, तो सिंपल साइड 795 का हम यहाँ पे एसएल मेंटेन करके चलेंगे। टारगेट की बातें कर लेते हैं तो सबसे पहला टारगेट है 835 का है, जो उसका अगर मैं बात करूँ रिसेंट का जो टॉप है 835 का वो है। और 835 जैसे ही डीपीजी काउंटर क्रॉस करता है ऊपर में 865 तक के भी लेवल हमें देखने को मिल सकते हैं, यानी कि तकरीबन 5 to 6% का भी रिटर्न हमें आने वाले 1-2 दिन में ये स्टॉक दिखा सकता है। तो प्रेजेंट लेवल से खरीदारी करके चलिए 795 के एसएल के साथ।
ओके ठीक है, 795 का एक एसएल लगा के आप इसको एक बार बाय भी कर सकते हैं। टेक्निकल व्यू भी मिला, शर्मिला भी कह रही हैं कि शेयर ठीक है।